All right, it's a beautiful Monday morning here in the city of Abeokuta, and it's the Daybreak Show, Citizens Forum on Rock City 101.9 FM in the city of Abeokuta. Daily Ayodo is my name.
And I am Toby Joseph.
Yes, the National Assembly, of course, is one of Nigeria's recognized constitutionally established institutions, and I, as an individual, is of the opinion that all institutions in the country must be respected and must be allowed to work. However, the institution may just be a structure, a building, or a house. It is those who operate it that really determines the efficiency and the kind of respect that the institution will have. This takes us to the National Assembly and events in that upper legislative arm of government. The most senior now, we're talking about the Senate in particular. Well, a lot of issues surrounding it, but let's pick one that is topical and keeps Nigeria talking, even with different shades of opinion. I'm talking about what is now referred to as the Dino Gate, the Dino Melaye saga. Well, the Vice Chancellor of the university has come out to say he graduated from the school, at least. That is well, but there are still so many questions unanswered, even from that position. To be more so, the two events created by Dino himself. One, the wearing of a graduation gown to the assembly. The first question is for those of us who wore that gown before, is it a permanent dress for an individual? I thought you have to rent it. And then if you look at that photograph, really, look at the wig on it. Then question mark, is that for an undergraduate or for a first graduate? Another question. And I know that the house rule also dictates that dressing into the assembly must strictly be a formal one. It's either you're in your complete native wear or the suit. And then beyond that, other questions as regards the certificate. He claimed he graduated in 2000, but served in 1999.
But he has changed that position.
Okay, he has changed that position. Geography and the department is supposed to be the Department of Social Science. So he is expected to have graduated with a BSc
and not a BA.
and not a BA. All right, don't worry, these are just postulations. We don't have a position about it yet. We'll be going around some people who at least have a stint with Dino and get their opinion about it. One of such person is Comrade Sabu Abdul Salam. He entered that prestigious university, Ahmadu Bello University, same time as Dino Melaye. Sabu is on the line. Good morning. So let's start this way. When you heard this story, you must have had the opportunity to have one or two things to do with Dino as a young man or before he became a senator. What went through your mind?
What went through my mind was some level of surprise because having known him from my first day in the university, I think the very first day we got into school was when I had contact with him. So, and having we had some courses we shared together. So it came to me as some sort of surprise when the allegation came that he had not from the university.
Comrade Sabu, the bone of contention is the discrepancies in first the dates of when he graduated, when he served, and so many others. The issue of his WAEC results,
Even the name.
even the names, so many discrepancies. Would you, if you were to be honest with us this morning, would you say you are 100% convinced that Senator Dino Melaye graduated from Ahmadu Bello University?
Well, first and foremost, let me say that I think for me, this issue is actually being overflogged. And I'll tell you why I say so. Why I say so is because if the Vice Chancellor of the university, I want to believe in the vice chancellor of a university comes to a sacred chamber such as the National Assembly's committee chamber to make and swear, because I know that they did that on oath. I saw the proceedings, and I know that they swore on oath. And if he came to the National Assembly and said, from all available records, that Dino Melaye graduated, then I want to assume that the matter is best laid to rest. However, in view of the fact that there are still questions, I think I just need to put one or two things into proper context based on some of the issues that are arising, the matters that are arising from the Dino gate, so to speak. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. One of them is the issue of the degree, BA Geography. And I recall that I had also argued in some quarters that as at the time we were being admitted into the university, into Ahmad Bello University in 1992-1993 session, I know that the Department of Geography was actually under the Faculty of Arts and Social.
Hello?
Hello, can
Yes,
you hear me?
yes, we can. Go ahead.
Some people were giving BA Geography as courses. Some people were giving BSc Geography as course. By the time we got to 200 level, I am also aware that there was a split from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. We now had the Faculty of Arts, and we also had the Faculty of Social Sciences. And I know that while the departments of economics, political science, sociology, mass communication were relocated to the Faculty of Social Sciences, we had departments like English, French, and so they were all in the Faculty of Arts. And I recall then that there was a problem of alignment of where to place the Department of Geography. Was Department of Geography supposed to be placed under Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Social Sciences? And I know that there was also another argument that the department should be placed under the Faculty of Sciences itself. And I think at the end of the day, by the time we were in 300 level, I know that it was not under Faculty of Social Sciences, it was not under Faculty of Arts, it was under Faculty of Sciences. So I believe that the narrative in his certificate could be correct based on the fact that some of those people who were admitted on a BA Geography course were allowed to run out the whole stream of the BA Geography admission. So if it's on the basis of that, I believe that his narrative on the issue of his certificate was correct.
Now, Comrade Sobul, can you tell us the man you met in Abu Azaria, the man Dino Melaye?
Now let me come to before I even do that, based on the issues of the controversies,
yes,
let me come to a very salient point. And that is part of the problems that some of us as Nigerians have always talked about. The issue of quota system, the issue of federal character, and what have you. I went to a university where there were dichotomies. Dichotomies for admission in the sense that for those people who were admitted, who were admitted and were from northern extraction, the admission criteria were clearly different from those people of southern extraction. And whereas some of us were expected to have 5 or 6 credits, as the case may be, for admissions, there were concessions for those people of northern extraction. And that is where I believe that the issue of 3 or 4 credits in the case of Dino Melaye also came in. Because he's from Kogi State, and I know that as at that time, Kogi State was also one of the educationally less disadvantaged or less advantaged states, if you like. And I know that there were concessions that were granted to those category of states, the northern states. And those things were also part of what came up as arguments that his WAEC results were not complete. So those are part of the problems we have in our nation. It's part of, it's a national problem. And I think that even rather than us looking at the issue of Dino, beyond that, we should look at a situation where, I mean, even for federal government colleges, secondary schools, I mean, I grew up in the north, and I had a situation where I scored 300 and something, and could barely meet the cutoff mark for Ogun State, which is my state of origin. And we had people who scored 190 something, and very easily they gained admission into federal government colleges, very, very easily. So those are part of the dichotomies, those are part of the problems which our quota system, federal character, and what have you have been able to throw up. And that's why you can see a situation where, I mean, allegedly, somebody has 3 credits and is given admission into university.
All right, quickly, Sabro, the man Dino, we have
Can you tell us about the man?
Well, about the man Dino, I think that is where many people, first and foremost, I watched him on Channel TV where he claimed to be the student union president of APU, and that is not true. As at that time, between 1993 and 1999, we had a serious problem in APU, and for the first time, an aberration in the form of having a sole administrator as the chief executive of the university came to play in APU. And when the sole administrator in the person of General Mama Kuntagora came, one of the first things they did was the student union was proscribed. So we did not have a student union, and where there is no student body, nobody can claim to be the president of the student union. Now, about the person, I think even what he has displayed in the last few weeks, and even in the last 1.5 years, have shown the kind of person he must have been when he was in school. If somebody is well over 40 now, and you can still see juvenile tendencies playing out, in the last 1 week for me, what I have seen is somebody acting like a juvenile. You can imagine what he would have done 20 years ago when he was an undergraduate, 24, 25 years ago when he was an undergraduate. So that shows the kind of person he was even when we were in school. Somebody who was always everywhere, who always wanted to bully, who always wanted to be involved in everything, take over. When you are involved, you now take over the affairs of those bodies or those groups where you find yourself. So that is the kind of person he has always been.
Okay.
Well, is it true, Comrade Saburo, that Senator Dino Melaye was impeached as the head of his department because he stole?
Well, I don't know the details. I don't know if it was an allegation of stealing. I don't even know the details. But I know he was impeached. That much I know. I know he was impeached, but the details may not be clear.
Okay.
Just to say further that, of course, even at that time, I also had my own issues too. As a student leader in the Department of Political Science, I also had my issues. I was not impeached, but sometimes one may not want to use that to judge because assessments of student politics sometimes may not necessarily be. But I know he was impeached. That's
Okay.
what I can
Now, quickly too, the gown, the wearing of the gown, does that gown look as the gown you also wore on graduation?
Well, I think I took a deep study, a close study of the gown. That gown is not even an Ahmadu Bello University gown. I can say that much. That gown that he wore is not even an APU gown. It's not even an APU gown either for undergraduate purposes, or postgraduate purposes, or even ceremonial purposes. It's not an APU gown. But whatever it was, for me, it was unnecessary. There was no need for him to have come to the floor of the Senate or to the floor of the National Assembly wearing that gown. There was no need. The point had already been made. He had been cleared. So there was no need for all that drama.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Abdul Salam Saburo, this morning. Yes, thank you for speaking with us, even though you were in a meeting.
All right, that's Comrade Abdul Saburo, a classmate, departmental mate of Dino Melaye. He claimed they entered the university same year, 92-93, and attended classes, some borrowed courses together. and left at the same time. Well, very interesting topic. Beyond Dino Melaye, according to him, the issue of quota system and what it has thrown up in our life today. Part of it is what we are now seeing in the Dino Gate issue. We are not done yet. Let's quickly run to Kogi State, the home state of Dino, and get the thoughts of people he is representing. Let's take this short break to enable us to put that call through. I will be back. All right, yes, thanks for still being there. Please pardon me. Yes, we are in Kogi State, as earlier mentioned, and we have a right activist, former convener United Action for Democracy, is well rooted in community issues in the country and in Kogi State. Incidentally, he is also from Kogi West, where Senator Dino Melaye also represent. We have on the line Comrade Taiwo Otitolaye. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're fine. Comrade Otitolaye,
Yeah.
can you please tell us what was the mood like in Kogi West Senatorial District when this whole issue of Dino Gates and the certificate saga was very much rife in the country?
Yeah, beyond Dino Melaye's certificate saga, Dino's emergence is a product of conspiracy and imposition by OTC national cabals. Because there was no primary election to elect Dino. So if road results collaborated with others and rode on Buhari's back to be in the Senate. So the people are seeing Dino as a shame to the Kogi West senatorial district because Dino does not represent the value and dignity of the people. He does not, although the people did not vote him, so they see him as a thug, as a bodyguard, because it is very clear all his activities for when he resumed in that Senate. Behave like a thug. Somebody is not mentally stable. He wears all sorts of attire. You can see the second day when they receive his thing, one with academic gown, what do I call it. So the people are seeing him as a disgrace. It is not representing the people. So the dividend of democracy, the people would have ordinarily benefited.
Comrade Otitolaye, when you say that he's not representing the people, are you saying that you cannot point at meaningful contributions and achievements of Senator Dino Melaye and landmark projects that he has embarked upon or facilitated in Kogi West Senatorial District?
That's true from the points which you have phrased now. Yes. What happens like Dino flaunts primitive wealth to the people he claims to represent. He has several cars. Dino 1, Dino 2, Dino 3, up to Dino 10. If you see the Dino campaign drinks. So you can, in terms of practical development, in terms of community development, it is zero. Dino, you cannot point to a single thing that Dino has.
Comrade Taiwo, before 2015, Dino was a member of the House of Representatives.
Yes.
So, are you saying, aside from his character, his political lifestyle, since he emerged on the political scene in 2007, that there's nothing one can point out as a politician, representative of the people?
Nothing. And all of us have to trace his background. So even when he was in ABU, he was a talk, commenting genuine mass killers. So tracing him to when he was a member of the House of Representatives, it was the display of shame. He fought. His judges were talk. So he's hungry.
Okay.
So he cannot point to a developmental project.
So, Comrade Taiwo, he is representing you as we speak. and then you've expressed your dissatisfaction. Is there anything you are doing or you've done to formally and officially let people know about this?
Yes, we have gone through public sensitization and mobilization of the people to tell them that, well, the people get the type of leaders that represent them through their action or inaction, so that people should become aware that they have to vote for people who will represent them very well. And there are even attempts to recall Tino, but for the volatile nature of Kogi, there's kidnapping, even the governor there is also another misfit in governance. So the people are even planning to recall him, because when you get to them, people are now wise and they are looking towards to when they can cast their votes.
So guys, is that a formal plan to recall Senator Dino Melaye now?
Yes, people, we are planning to do that. We are planning to do that, to recall him, because it's not representing Kogi West, senatorial district.
Which of the political parties do you belong to, Comrade Taiwo?
Well, I even contested on the platform of APC, House of Rep. So like I told you, there was no primary, even that of Yaga Federal Constituency. There was conspiracy. So they took the election materials for the primary and wrote results. Even with late Audi, they did it together. So they submitted it. Several petitions were written. Even to Buhari Osinbajo campaign organization, even to APC national secretary, even to Muiz Mara, who is the legal advisor of the party. So all entities to make people serious. So that you can see is a product of a fraud. And here comes the reckoning. It now become a thorn in the flesh of the All Progressive National Congress. And it has a backing, a support from the over-ambitious Saraki.
All right.
All right. Finally, Mr. Titolai, we know that Senator Dino Melaye resides in Abuja even before he became a senator and beyond his official residence. How often does he come home to actually interact and interface with his constituents?
Dino comes home regularly, but if he's not coming home, when he comes home, what do? You write with it. Your consistency, he does not. You empower people that Buddha are now in Lokoja. I think you represent Lokoja. You empowerment program. So the people practical empowerment program. So I watch it and I make calls to people. And people are happy, but because as much as he can go anywhere. So that does not mean that when he is at home that he's empowering the people. It does not.
All right, thank you.
And I don't think he has any plan for that.
All right, thank you, Comrade Otitolaye Taiwo. Okay.
Thank you for speaking to us. Have a wonderful day.
So, okay, let me last forward. And what we are telling the people now is that they should write to what late say Chief Obafemi Awolowo advice. That it's only the masses that can liberate themselves. So the masses should get their assets together and liberate themselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, interesting. That's a member of the constituent where Dino Melaye represents. That's his opinion. Obviously, not happy with the person and performance of the person, Dino Melaye. Taiwo Otitolaye, a former convener of the United Action for Democracy and community activist. All right, we're not done yet. Quickly, let's also get the thoughts of a senator, somebody who's been there. Particularly, we'll be asking him to speak on two things. To be, of course, the gown issue. We've done about the certificate, the gown issue, and that video. Probably the one
that's gone viral.
Yes, viral, and there's some will have described as juvenile. Ẹni tí ò tó ní náà tó ń dènà dé ní àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ. We'll be back.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show this beautiful morning. And we're still looking at the Dino Gate, the certificate saga, and of course, not only the certificate this morning, but the issues surrounding the certificate. Senator Dino Melaye's viral video where he was singing and dancing, and of course, he's putting on an academic gown to the chamber of the Senate to prove a point. Well, we have on the line now Senator Ibrahim Musa, a member of the Senate, the 7th Senate actually, and he's from the Niger State. Welcome on board, Senator Musa. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, Senator, let's get the wearing of the gown for plenary session. Is it proper?
Very, very improper. That is very childish of him. Even if you are clear, you don't need to put on your academic gown into the hallowed chambers of the Senate. It's quite unfortunate.
When things like that happen, what should the Senate do?
Well, in a normal situation, the Senate is supposed to have reprimanded him. He should have been reprimanded. But you know, the Senate at this period is kind of sectional. You understand me?
What do you mean by sectional?
Well, they are divided into various groups. The Saraki group and the other group. So the Dino Melaye belongs to the Saraki group.
And they are in control of the assembly, where anything goes.
Yes.
Now, as a member of that prestigious upper chamber, or former member, so to speak, would you say that in all this, Senator Dino Melaye has truly done something worth being punished? The academic wearing, the public showing in that video, and of course this whole certificate saga.
Yes, in the whole of my stay in the National Assembly, I've never seen a useless act like this. It's quite unfortunate that a senator of the government could descend so low to have behaved this way. It's quite unfortunate. It's unbecoming of a member of the National Assembly and a senator of that matter. It's quite unfortunate.
Let's go back to how it happened. Senator Ali Ndume moved a motion for Senate to investigate some stories going around the country. And then eventually he was accused or said to have been planning a coup. How do you view this, first politically and then as a legislator?
Yes, you see, the whole saga is something that people are not aware of what is happening. This is an internal squabble, internal fight between them and the Ndume. So Ndume was trying to have brought up the issue for investigation, but then for him to be punished this way is quite unfortunate because he has the right. He came under privilege, and he has done that. The panel, the Ethic and Privilege Committee called for hearing, and it was hard. There was no allegation of him being mischievous or anything. But to come up with this issue is quite unfortunate. Of the issue of suspending him is quite unfortunate. And politically, they are even killing our party APC because most of the principal actors are from APC, the ruling party. So it's quite unfortunate.
But when you look at all this issue with the suspension of Senator Ali Ndume now, what does it really tell you about what's going on in your party, the APC, and the government, especially as it affects relationship?
You see, from the inception of the APC, there were a lot of mistakes made. We allow some people to be emperors in the party. People like Saraki, he was just like an emperor. Whatever he decides is what is going to be done. Maybe we were around North Central and other places. We had problem with him even before now. He will now come and impose what he wanted to be done in the party. So he
Okay, you just talked about the North Central Caucus of the APC, which you, Saraki Dino Melaye, also belongs to. Are there
Yes.
moves to at least settle this issue, abate these people work as a team?
Let me go back and inform you something. You see, if you look at what happened, Dino Melaye, at the inception of the party, was just a talk. You understand me? So that is not going to get him defeated. Like for instance, the APC did not even conduct a primary. That's why you can see that out of the 3 senators that APC won before, now we have only one, that is Dino Melaye. The two have been removed because the other people complained that there was no primary. And when it was upheld at the Court of Appeal, the court barred the APC from participating into the recurrent election. So you can see the impunity that was happening. There was no primary. Somebody just took the ticket and gave them. This is what I was telling you. You can observe what I'm saying.
Now that the issues have blown up in the faces of the leadership of the party, how do you expect the party to, especially the president now, who is a leader, who is the leader of the party, to handle this?
It's not good that the president has constituted a committee comprising some of the ministers who are former senators and others to go and mediate. This is a good, it's a good proposal that we are now trying to mend the crack that is rearing its head in the National Assembly and within our party. Now, it's good that the president has decided to compose a committee to go and meet with the Senate so that they interfere and bring an end to this problem that is happening.
And you are optimistic that with this committee in place, all this fracas will be a thing of the past?
Ordinarily, that is what is supposed to have been obtained. In democracies all over the world, there is the principle of lobby. We must lobby the legislature. But for a president to get what he wants, he must have he must have an agreement with the legislature. There is no way in the presidential system of government the president can work without the legislature.
Now, we understand the importance of lobbying, but Senator Musa, are you saying that the problem this particular 8th Senate has, or the 8th Assembly has with Mr. President, is because he doesn't give them money as they want?
No, not money. You don't say money. You lobby. Sometimes when you lobby, you don't get money. You understand me? And the problem started that with the president for not even coming in to choose who are supposed to lead the party in the National Assembly. He should have done that. Nobody will allow his enemies to be leading the National Assembly. And it's ordinary if you allow that, this kind of problem will bound to happen. That is now happening.
All right, Senator Musa Ibrahim, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your contributions. Have a nice day.
All right, that's the voice of Senator Musa Ibrahim, a member of the 7th Senate from Niger State, the same geographical zone we didn't know Melaye. To be interestingly, another issue that Musa has thrown up is the need for internal party democracy. And then, as far as I'm concerned, he also opened our eyes to why the executives, particularly the governors and the president, are involved in the leadership of the legislative arm. Maybe some people will say, yes, they have to be if you judge from what we are seeing so far. All right, it is at this point we have to go on the break for the national news at 10 to come up. After that, it will be your turn to be a part of it. In the meantime, start sending those messages, SMS, Twitter handle, and our Facebook on the topic we are discussing, the Dino Gate and its effect on Nigeria's institutions. Don't go anywhere.